1300 hours Pakistan Standard Time. Assalamu alaikum. This is Radio Pakistan, the news read by Muhammad Zubair Khan. First, the headlines. Prime Minister says federal and provincial governments in collaboration with Pakistan Army are working to provide relief to the people in flood-affected areas across the country. The United States says it will continue to work closely with Pakistan to assess the damage caused by recent devastating floods and provide assistance in this time of need. Pakistan has called on the United Nations Human Rights Council to counsel India to put an end to human rights abuses in Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir. Israeli forces martyred 2 Palestinians in the occupied West Bank today. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Mohammad Shehbaz Sharif says federal and provincial governments in collaboration with Pakistan Army are working to provide relief to people in the flood-affected areas across the country. Talking to media persons during a visit to rains and flood-affected district of Sobatpur in Balochistan today, he said all-out efforts are being made to help flood-affected people. The Prime Minister said electricity bills of August and September of flood-affected people have been condoned. He said 24 billion rupees cash assistance has so far been disbursed through Benazir Income Support Program among the flood-affected families. He said floods have damaged the power transmission system, roads infrastructure and internet. Earlier during the briefing, the Prime Minister directed to expedite process for drainage of water in flood-affected areas besides restoration of basic infrastructure. The United States says it will continue to work closely with Pakistan to assess the damage caused by recent devastating floods and provide it assistance in this time of need. During a press briefing in Washington, the U.S. State Department spokesperson Ned Price said so far more than half of the 630 metric tons of relief supplies from USAID's Dubai warehouse has been delivered to Pakistan through 9 flights for response to the massive floods. Prime Minister Mohammad Shehbaz Sharif will pay a 2-day visit to Uzbekistan tomorrow to attend the annual meeting of the Council of Heads of State of Shanghai Cooperation Organization being held at Samarkand. At the forthcoming event, the SCO leaders will deliberate on important global and regional issues including climate change, food and energy security, and sustainable supply chains. They will also approve agreements and documents that will chart the future direction of cooperation among SCO member states. On the sidelines of the summit, the Prime Minister will also hold bilateral meetings with other participating leaders. Pakistan has called on the United Nations Human Rights Council to counsel India to put an end to human rights abuses in Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir. Pakistan's permanent representative to the United Nations Geneva office, Khalil Hashmi, taking part in debate at the meeting of the Council, said this forum cannot afford to remain a passive bystander in the face of independent evidence of India's grave violations. He said the crimes of self-professed largest democracy are getting entrenched and its sense of impunity being rewarded. Khalil Hashmi reiterated Pakistan's call on the Council members to counsel India to rescind its unlawful actions and halt the illegal demographic changes in occupied territory. Ambassador Hashmi also delivered a statement to the Council on behalf of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation. The statement urged India to implement the applicable UN Security Council resolutions as well as recommendations addressed to it in OHCHR's 2 Kashmir reports. In Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir, People's Democratic Party President Mehbooba Mufti has said that the Indian government has turned the territory into a prison. Addressing a press conference in Jammu, she said people in the occupied territory are not being allowed to speak, journalists and activists are being jailed and slapped with draconian laws, and politicians are being silenced. Taliban say at least 40 fighters of National Resistance Front have been killed in renewed fighting in Panjshir province. Government spokesman Zabiullah Mujahid said over 100 rebels were also arrested in the sweeping clearance operations in Rukha, Dara and Abshar districts of Panjshir province. Israeli forces martyred 2 Palestinians today in the occupied West Bank. A military spokesman said the Israeli troops shot dead the Palestinians near Jenin. Pakistan defeated Maldives 7-0 in SAF Women's Championship 2022 in Kathmandu. It was Pakistan's first win upon their return to international football after 8 years' absence. And that is the end of the news. For more news and analysis, log on to our website radio.gov.pk and also watch live video streaming of our bulletins on the link facebook.com/Radio Pakistan News.